Menahot Daf Yod Rima Amud Aleph Nu Perek Mishnah. הקומץ למנחה, someone does kimitza on a mincha, לאכול שיריה או להקטיר לקומצה למחר. He wants to eat the extra after the remaining part or the burning the komets the next day. מודה רבי יוסף בזה, Yosef would agree over here, שהוא פיגול וחייב לקראת. That is considered פיגול because he's having intention for the wrong time. And you have karet. L'aktil levanatah mahar, but if he does the kimitza mincha with intention to burn the levanah the next day, Yosef says pasul karet, pasul no karet. Hamim say pigul v'hayil karet, there is pigul, and you have karet. Amrullah, Hamim told Rabbi Yosef, mashina zemin azevach. What's the difference in this case of the mincha with the kimitza done to burn the levanah the next day versus a regular korban that you slaughtered with intention to burn the emurim, the sacrificial parts, the next day? And regarding the animal, there is karet. So why doesn't the same thing apply to minha according to your Yossi? And he answers, Marlene Yossi answers him, the difference is that regarding to the korban, the blood and the meat and the sacrificial parts are considered one piece, like one part. Uvana in the mincha, the uvana is not essential to the part of the mincha itself. It's not considered connected, and that's why there's no isurim of pigu. Okay. Why says Mama mitne modere Yosef bezu? Why to mention Mishnah have to mention? Oh, Yossi agrees over here. Why would you think he doesn't? Or it says, Mishum de Kabbar the Mitin Sefer, because the second part of the Mishnah would say, La'aktir the Not Mahar, Vesema Pasulim Bukaret. Rabbi disagrees in that case. Maratim, but Tamad Rabbi May you think that in the second case, Rabbi would only disagree, Mishum de Kasvar and Mafagim Bahatimatir, because he holds that you can't do big wool for a half a permitting factor. But therefore, Rabbi would even agree in the first place. Therefore, we have to mention again that the Kimitza intention, the intention to do Kimitza to burn the Vanat the next day does not count at all. And therefore, in that case, he would not be. And therefore, Kamashman the Hamudin, therefore, it's telling us in the first case, Rabbi Yossi would agree that there is Pigul. Okay. Next part of the Mishnah, Amud Bet says, Amar Lahakil, if someone does the Kmitzah from Minha and tend to burn the Lebanon the next day, Rabbi Yossi there, Pasul, it's Pasul, but no Karet. And Amar Shakish, Rabbi Yossi says, Omer Rabbi Yossi say, In Matir Matir. The one permitting factor cannot make pigul on another permitting factor. So let's say you're doing the avodah of one permitting factor, and he has intention to do the other permitting factor the wrong time. There's no pigul. Therefore, the intention to do levana during the avodah with the comment does not do pigul because two different avodot. Okay. Same thing applies regarding two spoonfuls of levana of the lech mapanim. The one permitting factor cannot make pigul and another permitting factor. Therefore, if you're burning the spoons of the levana and the mizbeach, and the kohen had the intention to burn one of the spoons tomorrow, there's no pigul. Gemara says, "My vechin why does it mention the same thing would apply? Why would you not assume that Yosef says the same opinion everywhere?" Gemara says, maybe you think that only by the levana of a regular korban there's no pigul. Mishum the lab minna minahi was not part of mincha. But in the case of the levana spoons of the habanim, the minna b'adaninu because it's kind of the same thing. And my figure that maybe Rossi would say that it's pigul k'mashan, therefore it says it's not. Gemara says, "Umi masita marat ve'ezmar yisir levana v'al mishum the lab minna minchahi." You're telling me that Yosef's reason in the first part of Mishnah that levana is not pigul because it's not considered it's considered different kinds than the actual mincha. Back then, the next part of the Mishnah said, "Amrulo ma'ashinata ben mezebach." They told Yossi, "What's the difference in this case of the kimitza versus the case of an animal of korban?" Amar Henry Yossi said back, because the animal korban, the blood and meats and the sacrificial parts are considered one unity. Levana is not part of mincha. Seemingly, levana is a different type than the rest of mincha. So we see that Rabbi does say that. We said the opposite. That it's not. That it is. Where it says ma'inam mincha, means it's not part of mincha over there. Means enam be'ikuv mincha. Means it's not required. It's not essential to this mincha service. If you don't do it, it's not. It's not a problem, and you still burn the comments. Meaning, we don't say that just because the comment holds back the shiraim of the mincha, they come out therefore, as long as the comments is not burnt, you can't eat the remainders. The comments should hold back the levana. And therefore, technically, the kohen, if he wants to burn the comments first, but he could burn the levana first, no problem. It's not a permitting factor for each other. Therefore, he's teaching us that the intention regarding the levana during the avodah cannot affect the comments to do pigul. The rest of the Rabbanan, according to Hamim, what are they arguing to Yossi? Ki amrinan in a matir, matir. When do we say one permitting factor cannot make pigul and another permitting factor? That only applies when the two permitters are not established in a single korban with a single klei sharet. But in case For example, like the minha, where the levana and the comets are placed in a single vessel. Ki hadam is considered the same thing, and therefore they can make people on each other. Amar b'yanai, likut levana bezar pasul. If the levana gathering was done by non-Kohen, it's pasul. Because this is kind of part of the process of bringing it to Beit HaMikdash, of bringing it to the Mizbeach, which needs a Kohen. So usually the Kohen will bring the thing to the Mizbeach. Over here, technically, he's not bringing it to the Mizbeach because he's not moving. He's just standing there and gathering it. But still, it would be considered like bringing something to the Mizbeach because he is gathering it. And he holds that even though you're not moving with your feet, it's still considered bringing. But therefore, if you're bringing it and he's not Kohen, pasul. When I said, I'm Rabbi Mari, often we also have Mishnah says similar. This is the rule. Any Rebbe does kimitza or places the komets in a vessel and he burns it with the wrong intention, it's pasul. Now, what's the comparison? Because kimitza of mincha is equal to slaughtering an animal. Molich nami hay molich. A molich is bringing the same thing by blood or comets. Baktir hay nezorech, burning the comets in his beach is equal to the throwing the blood. Elam tem but putting in the klei sharet, my kavid, what kind of avodah is that? That would make pigul. Elam mishum derada mebedag. You want to say it's comparable to the case of putting the comets that is similar to receiving the blood avodah of a regular animal. Korban, midami, you can't compare. Hatam by the blood, it's going into the vessel by itself. But over here by the comets, the Kohen's taking it and putting it inside. Not be considered because it's not enough that he doesn't do it, put it inside avodah hashva. It's still considered an important avodah. Therefore, it is considered like receiving the blood. Regarding the levana, since it's pasul, if he doesn't do it, avodah hashva is considered hashub. Therefore, it's considered bringing. Right? That's not proof. The Kohen can do pigul while placed in the comets in the vessel. Because the place in the comets in the vessel is considered like receiving the blood. Over there, they said, oh, but over there by the blood it goes by itself, and by the comets he's doing it manually. That's not a problem. Who cares? Both of these acts are considered putting something into, making something kadosh by putting it into a vessel. I don't care what differences make to me, whether or not it's going by itself or it's going physically in. The Avodah, however, is not comparable at all, and therefore it's not considered an Avodah, and that's why if the non-Kohen does it, it is okay. No Mishnah. If someone's slaughtering the lambs of Shavuot, one of the lambs of Shavuot, and he has intention to eat a bread of the two breads that are also being brought up for Shavuot for tomorrow. Or if he's burnt one of the two spoons of levonan and be'ach for the lechem panim to eat some of the bread tomorrow. Rabbi Yossi says in these cases, that set of bread or animals that he wanted to do, that he had intention for the wrong intention, that's pigul, and it's karet for that one. But the other sets, loaf for bread or animal, pasul pasul, but there's no karet. Rahmim say no, both are considered pigul, and they be karet for both.